For over a decade, one of Brazil's most widely used regenerative therapies lived inside a contradiction. Thousands of physicians drew a patient's own blood, concentrated the platelets, and re-injected it every day in private practice, while their own counsel called the procedure experimental. A dentist could do it with authorization. A physiotherapist could. The physician in the next room could not. That contradiction ended today. On July 15, 2026, the Diario official published CFM Resolution 2.464. It regulates platelet-rich plasma, PRP, as an adjuvant medical procedure for 4 musculoskeletal conditions: knee osteoarthritis, lumbar discopathy, lateral epicondylitis, and meniscal repair. And critically, it revokes Resolution 2.128 from 2015, the norm that had kept PRP boxed as experimental for a decade. This is not a small update. To see why, you have to look at how coverage was denied. In August 2024, the ANS, Brazil's supplementary health regulator, excluded PRP from mandatory coverage. Read the reasoning closely, and the entire argument reduces to one dependency. The procedure was excluded because the CFM considered it experimental. The ANS didn't make an independent scientific judgment. It borrowed the CFM's label and built its denial on top of it. The opinion even said so. While PRP is considered experimental, any proposal to add it to the roll would be ineligible. That was a conditional denial. It had an expiration date built in, the day the CFM stopped calling PRP experimental. That day is today. CFM 2.464 removes the single load-bearing pillar the entire ANS denial stood on. But here's what didn't happen. The wall didn't collapse into open access. Removing the denial's foundation doesn't automatically grant coverage. What it does is open a window, a regulatory opening that until yesterday did not exist. This is where celebration has to stop and work has to start. A regulated procedure is not a covered procedure. CFM 2.464 makes PRP a legitimate medical act. It does not make it something a health plan must pay for. The roll does not update itself. A TUSS code does not appear because a resolution was published. The 2024 denial does not evaporate on its own. What changed is that the argument for denial lost its foundation. Someone still has to build the argument for coverage. That path is concrete. Under the ANS's own rules, anyone can petition to update the roll, and the eligibility condition the ANS itself named has just been satisfied. For PRP, the build has a clear shape, a roll incorporation dossier assembled for the payer's logic, a TUS coding and billing architecture, so an authorized procedure has a clean path to payment. A prescription and coverage protocol aligned to the resolution's qualification rules, and a defensible documentation standard that survives audit. None of this is automatic. All of it is now possible, where yesterday it was not. And PRP is only the most accessible entry point. Brazil's regenerative field will keep producing this exact sequence: a therapy at the margins, a clarifying norm, and then a coverage gap that decides whether the technology reaches patients or dies financially unviable. Regulatory clarity is necessary. It is never sufficient. In medical technology, access was never only clearance. Access is also coverage, a route the whole chain can actually follow. The window just opened. Now the bridge gets built. Hit. Access engineered.